Hello, you guys. If you are watching the replay, drop me a black heart. Let's do it just for fun. Although this lip color is technically blue, but the blue heart would be a little too blue, and this is more black than blue. So anyway, I'm in a weird mood today, y'all. So hi. Thank you guys for jumping on. I put up a little question box in my stories a few days ago asking for topics that you guys would like to hear, and one of the topics was how to overcome fear of judgment on social media, particularly obviously pertaining to network marketing businesses. Whenever you first start your businesses, getting over those fears of posting and probably like being seen as salesy or being seen as one of those network marketers, you know what I mean? So anyway, so I'm here to talk to you guys about that while also wearing this crazy lip color because, hello, we're going to talk about judgment. I'm going to put on a crazy lip because it goes with the theme. Hi, Angel. Thank you for jumping on. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of jump right into it. So, hi, Olivia. There's so many people jumping on. I don't normally go on this late. I normally go on during the day, but hi, Tammy. Okay, so I wanted to talk about kind of who I was before versus who I am now, okay? Because now, honestly, you can't tell me nothing, okay? You cannot tell me anything. You could judge me. I don't care. You're not going to judge my bank account, okay? And like that sounds really hoity-toity, but it's also like you get to a point where it's like you can't judge me. It's not going to be a thing. But that's not how I was 7 years ago, okay? So again, if any of you have never seen my old videos or like my old posts, I was shy, I was timid, I was terrified of freaking everything, and I think about it now and I'm just like, girl, if you only knew. And so I used to be terrified of everything. I used to be terrified of what anyone would think. I would walk on eggshells around every single person. Even if I didn't like them, I would walk on eggshells. I was always making sure, like, I would never give my opinion. I'm actually still working on that. I'm not great at giving my opinion, but I would never give my opinion. I would never stir up any sort of conflict, like, ever, like, very submissive, very just, like, not wanting to stir the pot, just terrified, wanting to be normal. All I ever wanted was to be normal. That's actually something really important to know about me, which is just crazy considering now. But all I ever wanted was to be normal because I grew up abnormal in like the wrong direction. Like I was low income, so I was like very not cool in school. I didn't go to church, but I grew up in the Bible Belt, so like I didn't really have friends because like I didn't go to church. Like I just wanted to be normal. I wanted to be a normal person. And so anyway, so that's just kind of to understand, like, because now if I come at you and I'm like, oh, just don't fear judgment, that's not helpful. So I have a bunch of tips for you. So when I first started my business, okay, not that you have to have a strong why to just do the do, but for me it really was kind of choosing my heart. It was choosing my future is really kind of what it came down to. Was I knew that I had to build my business. My business was my ticket to the life that I wanted, which I have now literally built everything that I wanted 7 years ago. And so I knew that if I was going to build this business, I had to learn how to post on social media. I had to learn how to go live, even though I was terrified. And I knew that I was going to be bad before I was good. And so that, again, that's not just a quick answer, because I think we all logically know that, but you are going to be bad before you're good. You're not going to be great at your first videos. You're not going to be great at your first reels. We were laughing today because even all of our old selfies were awful, okay? Everything is awful. So you are going to start out imperfect. But the only way to get to where you're posting stuff that is of value and that is quality is through that practice, is through just posting and going live and doing the videos and getting through those stages of very, like, cringe wasn't really a word you know, 7 years ago, but my videos were so cringy. I go back and I watch them and I'm like, these are so awful. How did anyone watch this? How did anyone buy from me? These are so bad. I can't even watch them. Like, my face gets hot just watching them because I'm like, I get like secondhand embarrassment from my own videos from 7 years ago, okay? So you're gonna feel like that. And I think it's important to understand that you're gonna feel like that. And something I learned, I'm pretty sure this quote is from Nadia Melton. I remember her saying once years ago that if she can't look, I think it was Nadia Melton, it might have been Marina Worry, if she looks back on her videos from 6 months ago and she's not embarrassed, then she's not growing fast enough. She needs to be able to look back on her videos from just 6 months ago and be like, ooh, I've grown, because those are awful. And she's been in network marketing like 20 years, and she still wants herself to grow every 6 months. So again, this is something you kind of have to marry that process. You have to understand that, yeah, my videos 7 years ago were cringy. I still think my videos from 18 months ago were cringy. This is an ongoing process. All that happens is you unlock new levels of like, oh, I can get even better. Oh, there's even more levels of more things that I could do. So anyway, none of that was even any of my tips. So my first tip, my first actual like actionable tip is to just call it out. When I first started going live, I literally would say, this is awful. Like, this is gonna be so bad. Like, I would say that. I would be like, I'm sweaty. Like, I still say that sometimes. I'll be like, I'm sweating. This is so bad. This is so bad. I'll say that sometimes. And so just say, like, I used to say, like, I'm super new at this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm wanting to learn. I'm wanting to grow. And guess what that did? That inspired people to watch me because they knew that it was intentional. That actually inspired people who were less skilled than me to watch. And it probably, I hope, empowered them to eventually start on their journey too. Because they watched me go from being someone who was like tearing up while I was live, from someone who would hold my notes, my word for word notes, word for word. If there wasn't a word on that page, I wasn't gonna say it because I was reading. I would jump on live and I would read what I was talking about. That's how cringy my old videos were. I promise I will share them if you want to see them. But I would call it out. I would say, like, I am super uncomfortable going live, so I'm going live to get better. I would say that in my videos. Like, I know that I need to get better at taking selfies, so I'm just going to take a bunch of selfies and I'm going to keep posting them because that's going to encourage me to get better. Here's another thing. Honestly, this is kind of a side note, but if you never get started in the process, like if you never post, you never actually like have the fuel to the fire to get better. Does that make sense? Like if you do one bad video, you're either never gonna do a video again or you're gonna force yourself to get better. Like you're not just gonna sit in being like doing a bad video. You're going to get better because you're gonna be like, ooh, well, if I have to do this again, I need to get better. Does that make sense? Versus like, oh, I'm never gonna do that, so I never even have to learn. Like you force yourself to learn by actually doing the thing and then wanting to get better. Yes, I am wearing Team Wicked. Isn't it so pretty? I love it so much. Okay, so just call it out. That really, really helped me in the beginning. I still do that sometimes. Like if I'm super nervous, I'll just tell people I'm super nervous so that I'm not wondering if they're thinking, is she nervous? It's like, no, I live in nervousness, okay? Number two was to like lean into the process. So I kind of talked about that. Number 3 is to intentionally, how do I put this? Like intentionally do things that are uncomfortable. That's why I have the lip color on, okay? So like intentionally doing things out of your comfort zone so you get used to being there. So like when I first joined and I would wear like we had blue lip colors, it was like, that's never gonna happen. But then I wore a blue lip color because I was like, well, what if there are people who want to wear blue lip colors, but they're nervous? So I was like, I'm gonna wear the blue lip color so that they see me wearing the blue lip color and they know that it's not as scary as it feels. That's another tip. There's so many tips within the tips. But I started doing things outside of my comfort zone on purpose because I knew that I would grow by doing things that were intentionally different. So things like wearing bold lip colors. I would also intentionally do things that were silly, very silly. So like I'm in a makeup business, for those of you that don't know me. So I sell makeup. And so some of my videos that I would do for my customers, because I felt like I didn't know how to do makeup videos. So I was like, well, I can't do makeup videos because I can't teach anyone how to do makeup, but I have to do videos with the makeup. So what can I do if I'm not doing tutorials? So I would do like really silly stuff. Like I'm going to do my makeup with my eyes closed, or I'm going to let my, my prize wheel pick my makeup, or I'm going to have like a cup of shadows and I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to pick 3 and those are going to be the 3 that I use. Or like, here's a cup of every single lip color that I have, pick 2 and I'm going to mix them together and I'm going to make that color. And so I would intentionally do things that were just so out of the box ridiculous that then going live to just apply my tinted moisturizer wasn't as scary. Does that make sense? And so sometimes you just have to lean in. You have to lean in and be like, okay. If going live is scary, instead, we're going to go live and we're going to do our makeup in 30 seconds. We're going to see if I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to see if I can do my whole face in 30 seconds. Like I would just do silly stuff that was super out of the box. And I got really comfortable with getting uncomfortable. A lot of people will tell you that. That's a really common quote. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. But they don't actually tell you how. And it's this intentionally seeking out uncomfortable situations. And what I'll tell you, you won't believe me if you haven't gone through this yet. But you know how like you can feel excitement and you can feel joy and you can feel sadness? Like I can feel when I get uncomfortable. But unlike where some people feel uncomfortable and they pull back, I feel uncomfortable and I lean in. I feel uncomfortable and I go, ooh, this is a place that I get to grow. This is a place that 3 months from now, I'm not going to feel uncomfortable anymore because this is going to be something that I've practiced. This is going to be something that I've worked on. And so that uncomfortable feeling is actually something that I look forward to because it means that I need to grow. Does that make sense? I look forward to growth. I look forward to looking back on my cringy videos, where most people don't ever want to see their cringy videos. They don't ever want to do cringy videos. I'm the other way around. I'm like, how can I get so good that my videos a month ago are embarrassing? Like I want to constantly be growing. And so I love that feeling of being uncomfortable because I know that there's growth there. Okay, now, next, I only have 2 more. My next one is to either say that you were challenged or actually sign up for some sort of challenge. Okay, this is something that I still do. And I do this now. I do this with my team because like I have a team so I can do it with them. But if I need to grow in a certain area of my business, I just either sign up for a challenge if I can find one, or I just say I was challenged. So for example, a lot of people know this story, but when I joined in March of, I always do the challenge, yes. When I joined in March of 2017, I was terrified of live videos. Absolutely terrified. Live videos or pre-recorded videos, all scary. I'd never done any sort of video in my entire life. That's terrifying. So between March and April, I'd only done a couple of live videos. And so my upline challenged me to go live for 30 days straight, to do a full 30-day live challenge in May, or 31 days, whatever. 31-day live challenge in May. I don't back down to a challenge. Like even back then, even shy, timid Morgan, like I'm like, if someone tells me to do something, I'm gonna do it. That's actually a big part of my personality, is that like I was very much a follower. So it's like if someone tells me to do something, I'm just gonna say yes because I'm not gonna say no. Saying no is terrifying. So it was more terrifying to say no than it was to do the videos. So I said yes and I did the videos, and guess what? The videos were awful, but I just every single day I jumped on and I was like, it's day 3 of this live video challenge. It's day 4 of this live video challenge. So like people knew that I was challenged to do it. I don't even know why I put it in quotes because I really was. And then by the end, I was so much better. And so, yes, do Slay May every single year. Exactly, Slay May, 31 Days of Life videos. And so, say it's a challenge. So if you have never done Reels before, one of the best ways to kick off Reels is with like a 7-day Reels challenge. One of the best ways. Another one of you asked me, one of the topics was how to get comfortable talking in stories and what to talk about in stories. What if I said, I want you to talk in stories for the next 10 days? Every single day, make yourself a little tracker, okay? I'm really big on trackers. Make yourself a tracker and just talk in your stories. You have to do at least 3 video stories a day for the next 10 days or you can't check your box. But if you check in your box, then you get to go to Starbucks or something. You know what I mean? Like, make your own reward system from it. Make your own challenges, make your own reward system. And if you aren't good at holding yourself accountable, tell your upline or tell someone else. They don't even have to hold you accountable. Just tell them. Say, I'm going to go live for the next 7 days. If you even tell them and you know that they're going to check in on you 10 days later, even if they didn't even create the challenge, you're going to feel like more accountable to actually doing it. And so with stories and with videos, you can pretend you were challenged and then just do it. And it gives you the excuse to be imperfect. It gives you the excuse to be uncomfortable and awkward because you're going to find the growth through it. Then, okay, I think the last one. I have a couple more, but it's fine. The last one really truly is finding your people. And this one's like harder, but not at the same time. I think we all think that we are the most boring or the most weird or the most XYZ whatever. Like, imperfection stems from comparison. Okay, hear me. Imperfection stems from comparison. If you're saying that anything that you're doing is imperfect, that means you're comparing it to something that you think is perfect. That's literally like, there would be no imperfection if there was no comparison. Do you understand? And so if you can find people that are just like you, it actually makes being weird or being different or being shy or being successful, it makes it less uncomfortable because you know that you have a circle that's just like you. And you know that when you watch someone else who does an awful video, that you're not judging them at all, that you're actually proud of them for going live and pushing through that comfort zone. You might even feel more inspired by someone who's doing a really awkward reel, but she says, this is my first reel, please don't judge me. And you're like, girl, I'm not judging you. If anything, I'm applauding you. And so the more you find those people and the more you feel happiness and joy towards them, or that you feel inspired from them, the more you can start to realize that your story and your journey and your awkwardness and your imperfections is actually the exact part of you that needs to be shared. Does that make sense? Because it's not, we don't look up to the people that are perfect a lot of the time. We don't look up to the people who just have their whole life together. Like, I really think that one of the biggest reasons why I am as successful as I am is because I've been so open about my journey. It's because anytime you say, oh my gosh, I could never do live videos like you, I go, maybe you can't do them like me, but you could do them like her, me, 6 years ago. You could. You absolutely could. What if I didn't have those stories? What if I didn't have those awful selfies? What if I didn't have all of those cringy moments? It wouldn't make me who I am today. Like, I wouldn't be as influential or as inspiring. Does that make sense? And so people actually need you to start before you're ready. People need you to start imperfect. They need you to start in those moments because that's where they can see that growth. And that growth is where your success is truly going to come from. And so anyway, kind of went off on a tangent, but finding your people doesn't necessarily mean finding friends who are like you. It just means finding people out there that you can watch and be inspired by and understand that if you're inspired by them and their story is similar to yours, you can inspire a lot of people just by starting right where you are. So I have no idea if that was helpful, but I'm gonna go. If you guys have any requests for trainings, please let me know. I'm loving it. I love answering your questions. I love knowing that I am serving you in the very best capacity that I can. So I will let you guys go. Have a wonderful night.